Did you know that the concept of human rights was actually pioneered by an ancient Persian king? It's kind of amazing to think about, but the roots of these universal values stretch all the way back to the heart of ancient Persia. 2,600 years ago, the ancient world was ruled by brutal empires. Conquerors enslaved people, destroyed cities, and erased cultures. But in 539 BCE, a Persian king changed everything. Cyrus II, known as Cyrus the Great, marched into Babylon, not to destroy it, but to liberate its people. While other kings ruled through fear, Cyrus ruled through respect. His approach wasn't just rare, it was revolutionary. In the 6th century BCE, after the dramatic conquest of Babylon, Cyrus the Great, founder of the vast Achaemenid Empire, issued a royal decree that would echo through the ages. This was not just a simple proclamation of victory, but a statement that would shape the course of history and the concept of human rights for generations to come. Cyrus, renowned for his wisdom and tolerance, sought to establish a new order, one based on respect for the diverse peoples and cultures within his empire. This decree was carefully inscribed onto a clay cylinder, a remarkable artifact now known as the Cyrus Cylinder. Measuring about 9 inches long, the cylinder is covered in lines of cuneiform script, each one a testament to the vision of a ruler who saw beyond conquest and domination. Written in the Akkadian language using cuneiform script, the cylinder's text proclaims revolutionary ideas for its time. It announced freedom of religion, allowing conquered peoples to worship their own gods without fear. It abolished forced labor, granting individuals the right to work and live freely. Most notably, it ordered the return of displaced peoples to their ancestral homelands, reversing years of forced exile and oppression. These principles, inscribed in clay, marked a radical departure from the practices of previous empires, which often relied on fear and subjugation. Among those who benefited most from Cyrus's decree were the Jews, who had been exiled from Jerusalem by the Babylonians decades earlier. Thanks to Cyrus's policy of tolerance and restoration, they were allowed to return to their sacred city and rebuild their temple, a moment of profound significance in Jewish history. This act of liberation and religious freedom is celebrated to this day, and it set a precedent for future rulers in the region. The impact of Cyrus's decree was so great that it is even mentioned in the Bible, specifically in the book of Ezra. The text describes how Cyrus not only permitted the Jews to return but also encouraged them to rebuild their temple, providing them with resources and support. This biblical recognition highlights the far-reaching influence of the Cyrus Cylinder, bridging the worlds of ancient Persia and the Hebrew scriptures. The physical cylinder itself lay buried for over 2 millennia, hidden beneath the ruins of ancient Babylon. It was not until 1879, during a British museum excavation in what is now Iraq, that this extraordinary artifact was unearthed. Its discovery provided historians and scholars with a tangible link to the ideals and policies of Cyrus the Great, offering a rare glimpse into the values of one of history's most influential empires. Today, the Cyrus Cylinder is carefully preserved and displayed at the British Museum in London, where it draws visitors from around the world. People come to marvel at its ancient script and to reflect on the enduring legacy of Cyrus's vision, a vision that continues to inspire debates about justice, freedom, and human dignity. Many scholars regard the Cyrus Cylinder as the world's first declaration of human rights, a foundational document that predates the Magna Carta by nearly 2 millennia. Its message of tolerance, respect, and freedom remains as relevant today as it was in the ancient world, reminding us that the pursuit of human rights is a timeless and universal aspiration. Centuries passed, but Cyrus's ideas lived on, echoing far beyond the borders of the ancient Persian Empire. His vision of leadership, rooted in respect for different cultures, religious tolerance, and the protection of human rights, became a beacon for future generations. The legacy of Cyrus the Great was not confined to the dusty pages of history. Instead, it continued to inspire thinkers, leaders, and reformers across continents and centuries. His approach to governance, which emphasized justice and mercy, set a new standard for rulers everywhere, challenging the notion that power must be wielded with cruelty or oppression. In the 18th century, Enlightenment philosophers in Europe were inspired by his story. As Europe grappled with questions of liberty, equality, and the rights of individuals, the example of Cyrus offered a powerful model from the ancient world. His reputation as a ruler who freed the oppressed and respected the customs of conquered peoples resonated deeply with those who sought to challenge tyranny and promote new ideas about government. Writers and intellectuals pored over ancient texts, searching for guidance and validation for their revolutionary ideals. Thomas Jefferson, author of the United States Declaration of Independence, owned multiple copies of the biography of Cyrus by Xenophon, the ancient Greek historian. Jefferson was fascinated by the stories of Cyrus's wisdom and fairness, and he studied Xenophon's Cyropaedia as a manual for enlightened leadership. The book was not just a historical account, but a guide for how a ruler could govern with both strength and compassion. Jefferson's admiration for Cyrus influenced his own ideas about democracy, freedom, and the responsibilities of those in power. He admired Cyrus's model of leadership, just and merciful. For Jefferson and many of his contemporaries, Cyrus represented the ideal of a ruler who balanced authority with humanity, who could unite diverse peoples under a common vision without resorting to fear or violence. This admiration was not limited to the United States. Across Europe and beyond, reformers and revolutionaries looked to Cyrus as proof that a better, more humane form of government was possible. In the 20th century, during the founding of the United Nations, the ideas inscribed on the Cyrus Cylinder were echoed in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. The cylinder, often called the world's first Charter of Human Rights, proclaimed freedom of religion, the abolition of forced labor, and respect for the traditions of all peoples. These principles, first articulated over 2,000 years ago, found new life in the aftermath of World War II, as nations sought to build a more just and peaceful world. In fact, a replica of the cylinder is displayed at the United Nations headquarters in New York as a symbol of tolerance and human dignity. This powerful artifact serves as a reminder that the values of respect, freedom, and justice are not new inventions, but part of a long human tradition. The influence of Cyrus the Great continues to shape our world, reminding us that the ideals of compassion and fairness can transcend time, inspiring people everywhere to strive for a more inclusive and humane society. You know, the Cyrus Cylinder isn't just a relic of the past. It's a living symbol that continues to inspire people and nations around the world. Several countries have officially acknowledged the historical and cultural significance of this ancient artifact, seeing it as a testament to early ideas of human rights and tolerance. The story of the Cyrus Cylinder stretches far beyond the borders of ancient Persia, echoing through museums, monuments, and exhibitions across the globe. The United Kingdom is actually home to the original cylinder, which is carefully preserved and displayed at the British Museum in London. Visitors from all over the world come to see this remarkable piece of history, marveling at its cuneiform script and the message it carries about freedom and respect for different cultures. The British Museum has made the cylinder a centerpiece of its ancient world collection, highlighting its enduring legacy. Meanwhile, in the United States, a full-scale replica of the Cyrus Cylinder is proudly exhibited at the United Nations headquarters in New York. This placement is deeply symbolic, as the UN stands for international cooperation and human rights, values that the cylinder itself represents. Diplomats, visitors, and school groups alike encounter the replica, sparking conversations about the shared heritage of humanity. In Iran, the homeland of Cyrus the Great, the cylinder's legacy is celebrated in many ways. Multiple replicas and monuments can be found throughout the country, from grand museums in Tehran to the ancient site of Pasargadae, where visitors pay tribute to Cyrus's vision. These sites serve as powerful reminders of Iran's rich history and the values of justice and respect that the cylinder embodies. And it doesn't stop there. Russia, France, and Germany have all hosted special exhibitions of the Cyrus Cylinder, drawing crowds eager to learn about its story and significance. These international displays highlight the cylinder's universal appeal and its role as a bridge between cultures, reminding us that the ideals it represents are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. Cyrus remains a powerful symbol in Iranian culture. His tomb in Pasargadae, located in the Fars province of Iran, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Every year, thousands of Iranians gather on October 29th, unofficially celebrated as Cyrus the Great Day, to pay homage to their ancient king. Despite political and cultural shifts over centuries, Cyrus's values, respect for different cultures, freedom of religion and rule of law, remain deeply rooted in the Iranian identity. In a world still struggling with inequality, war, and oppression, the story of Cyrus reminds us that justice and humanity are not modern inventions. They are timeless values. At a time when kings could act as tyrants, Cyrus chose to be a liberator. He believed power should serve the people, not dominate them. So the next time you hear about human rights, freedom of speech, or religious liberty, remember, these weren't invented in the 20th century. They were carved into clay in the heart of ancient Persia by a king who was centuries ahead of his time. Want to discover more untold stories from ancient civilizations? Subscribe to our channel and watch the full documentary. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated.